Okay, let's get it kicked off here on a Wednesday. Longshore and McKnight, so glad you are with us here. You see us both side by side. I'm in network control, Barry, with a logo on a hat that I'm not overly familiar with. Pretty good. From Monroe, Louisiana, I believe.
Yeah, I'm in Monroe, Louisiana. Long bus trip. Again, I guess in the last 10 days, I've been on a bus or a plane for thousands of miles. Monroe, Louisiana, where there's basketball tonight. There's basketball all over the place, actually, this evening. Troy versus Louisiana Monroe at 6:30 this evening. And then we head to Mobile. So, yeah, this hat, I actually had a purple shirt in my suitcase, so I had to have a purple hat. These are the fabled Tiger Sharks of Port St. Joe High School, Port St. Joe, Florida, where my dad's family is from.
Okay.
Snuck one of these in there. No, it's not St. James, it's St. Joe. So,
yeah. Well, when I first started, I saw it, I went, huh. But,
yeah,
I get it. Port St. Joe, Florida, near,
yes. Yeah.
Was that near Apalachicola?
Yes. What do you think? About 15 miles west of Apalachicola.
Right.
Oh, right next to Oak Grove and Highland View and just south of Weehawken. I'm talking about. That's my roots over there. Yeah. So we here in Monroe today, John is in the main studio. There is basketball out there. Big basketball last night, as it turns out, at the Farm City Arena. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let's do that. Turned out to be a pretty good basketball game. Also, last night, we watched a good bit of this on the bus. There is a new number one basketball team in America. They are the Michigan Wolverines, who are now 25-1 with a big win yesterday against the Purdue Boilermakers. And I know a lot of like, really, that, some of you guys who don't necessarily follow it, not really paying much attention to it, but Michigan is 25-1.
They're pretty good.
They beat Purdue at Purdue 91-80 yesterday. Purdue was number 7. And also number 24, Wisconsin. Number 24 in the country, top 25, Wisconsin. They go to Ohio State and lose by 17.
Yeah, more on that later.
So there's that.
I've said it several weeks ago. I mean, I don't like to compliment the Big Ten, but they got the best basketball teams I've seen so far this year.
3 of them.
Yeah, Illinois is pretty good. Purdue's pretty good. Michigan, obviously pretty good. Big.
Yeah. Purdue's terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Who else? Florida. I mean, I'm watching a little of Florida last night.
Florida, a winner yesterday over South Carolina.
Yeah.
Not super impressive. They just kind
Florida.
smothered them.
Yeah. Florida's got these 2 tall white guys, and I was watching them play a little bit, and I thought a lot of things, but the way the guys defended, obviously these guys are really tall, or maybe the South Carolina players were just not as tall as most other SEC players are, but it reminded me of a guy in YMCA ball when you had this big kid, but you didn't want him fouling out, and when you're a young kid, you kind of get a little too aggressive and the whistle starts blowing. These Florida players were defending like some of my friends back in Y Day. They just stuck their hands as high as they could. They stood their feet flat on the ground, and they just stood there in front of the guy. And the guy's trying to shoot, and sometimes he would and sometimes he wouldn't, but they couldn't call a foul on the defender because the guy wasn't moving.
Straight up,
he just standing there like, Collage of the Wooden Indian. And I'm thinking, that's an interesting way to play defense. I said, the guy's either really small or this guy's taller than I think he is.
I used to be the tall kid when we played, and I played, but I was I was a good coach's kid. I always did what they told me to, and they always told when you first get started, when you don't know what the double dribble is and all this kind of stuff. They just tell you stand up there like that, and the guy would come up and he'd try to dribble around you, and you'd go like this, and he'd dribble around you, and you'd go like that, and everything. That was the extent of it.
Pretty much.
To John's phrase, Florida's two tall white guys are Alex Condon and Thomas Houck.
Yeah,
they
those
are both really good. I'm looking now at the schedule, and again, they got hot and heavy yesterday. They had 3 games in the SEC. Georgia beats Kentucky. Texas beats LSU. And like John said, Florida beats South Carolina yesterday. Right now, with more games today, Florida is, a game and a half in the lead. And they look pretty good. They had some early troubles this year. They had a really tough non-conference schedule, but they've won 20 games. They're 20-6 overall, 11-2 in the SEC. And John, every game they play, to me, and they're the defending national champions, every game they play, to me, they look a little bit better every time. And right now, they are, without a doubt in my mind, the class of the SEC, the number 2 team in the SEC, in case you hadn't been paying attention.
Yeah.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Well, yeah, they're coming into Tuscaloosa tonight. I have noticed them. Maybe they're not getting enough love. More on that later. But yeah, I saw that the Hogs were coming into town to Tuscaloosa tonight for an early tip. It's part of the 6 o'clock package, I guess you'd call it. Then the 8 o'clocks will play after that, which actually includes Auburn at Mississippi State. They're making Auburn stay in Starkville 2 extra hours. They're probably thinking, why couldn't we play the 6 o'clock tip? But Alabama at 6, Auburn at 8. The different networks, though. So you'll be able to go dual screen if the games overlap.
Alabama and Arkansas tonight at 6 on ESPN. Arkansas is number 2 in the league. Alabama, and they're number 20. Alabama number 25. Alabama's a favorite in that game. A lot of it's because it's at home. Auburn's on the deuce at 8 at Mississippi State tonight. Auburn a favorite in that one as well. Nate Oates. In the the weekly press conference or the pregame press conference, he says let's make sure it's packed and we're ready to go because winning this game will go a long way. He's not talking about the players. He's talking about the students and the fans. That needs to be a, by gosh, basketball atmosphere tonight. That doesn't need to be everybody looking around saying, hey, is that Keelan Russell over there? Gosh, he's bigger than I thought. No, you need to be focused on the game because Coach Cal and Arkansas coming in. This game may be the best game of the night. Certainly the best game tonight in the SEC.
Yeah, certainly could be.
But maybe the best game in the country, and it needs to be an atmosphere.
Jimmy Dyke's going to be there tonight? Man.
Who is
like that guy. I got to tell you, some of these play-by-play and color analysts on ESPN and SEC Network this year, they was just got a new crop because there's a lot of voices and faces I just don't recognize.
That happens, People get older, people do other stuff and move around. Our buddy Dudley Lucky, great guy, big Auburn fan. He says Auburn needs a win tonight. Yeah, at Mississippi
I'm pulling
State.
For him, Dudley. Count on that.
Mississippi State is they're not any good. Auburn needs to go in there. Auburn's a favorite in that game, trying to break a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, they are.
Trying to do that. Right now, Auburn stands at 5-7. They're 14-11 overall. We asked Brian Matthews this yesterday. 6 games left. Does 3-3 in the remaining 6 games for Auburn? Does that get them in the tournament, or do they have to make some noise in the SEC tournament? Brian says,
who are the 3 losses against?
That probably has a lot to do with it.
I know they're going to Tuscaloosa at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's the very last one. So I'm talking about if, you need to win tonight, obviously.
Yeah.
You got Kentucky in Auburn on Saturday. You go to Oklahoma on Tuesday.
Testy.
Ole Miss at home, LSU at home, and then Alabama on the road. They win the home games.
Yeah, they're going to win the home games.
If they win the home games, they're 3-3. Brian said he thinks they might be in, but he's not real sure. I'm the same way. If you go 3-3 and then lose in the first round of the tournament, the conference tournament, yikes! I don't know.
Does the conference tournament start on Tuesday now, or do they just play more games on Wednesday?
That's a good question. Let me.
I think last year was 16 teams in the conference. No way it started on Tuesday. No way. I mean, I had a hard enough time when it started on Wednesday. By the time you got to the finals on Sunday, it felt like a month.
Yeah, it'll be in Nashville.
Yeah, sure. It's gonna be there for a while.
Yeah, it is. It is at Bridgestone Arena, and it does start on March the 11th. So get a calendar and figure that out. So,
yeah. Well, I've got.
It'll start on Wednesday. 4 games on Wednesday.
Good. Okay. Did it used to be just 2 games on Wednesday? I guess before they had 2 night games. Yeah, they had 2 night games on Wednesdays. Now they have a afternoon and a night session with. See how 16 is just such a good number. 4 here, 4 there, 4 here. 16 just is a good number. I like 16.
This makes me throw up a little bit in my mouth because John says that. Isn't that nice? 4 games on Wednesday, March 11th, SEC tournament.
Yeah, I like
he
that.
He ain't watching one of them. He ain't into. When it comes to South Carolina versus Mississippi State in Nashville, Tennessee, in front of 3,000.
Yeah.
This is the reality of it, rather than John with his head on a screen going, I think that's great. When it comes to the reality of it, and John sitting on his couch with his Bud Light cracked open beside him saying, oh boy, here we go for an 11 o'clock game on a Wednesday. He ain't doing it.
I gotta get I need to get a judge's ruling.
Can we hear from
of how long you actually have to watch it for it to be considered consuming the game? Because I'll get a scan. I mean, I'll scan it for get a score, see a couple of possessions, see how the things are shaking out, and then I might move on.
But he does that with everything. Yeah. He does that with every sporting event out there. Meanwhile, and hey, you got Dudley saying, hey, Auburn needs a win tonight, and they do. I think they do, Dud.
Yeah.
Alabama.
What arena has more people, Coleman or the Hump?
Oh, it's got to be Coleman. Coleman's got too many. The Hump has about 11,000.
They still call it the Hump.
Oh, yeah. Humphrey Coliseum. Alabama, meanwhile.
Not for Hubert Humphrey, a former president, I don't believe. Was Hubert Humphrey? No, he wasn't a president. Hubert Humphrey was ran for president.
Yeah, he was. Nixon beat him in 68.
Yeah, that's right. Tricky Dick.
Yeah. Humphrey was the vice president under Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah.
And so Humphrey was in a bad spot that year in 1968, running against Nixon. That was the year they had all of the demonstrations in Chicago and all that kind of stuff, and
Vietnam War. All that
they weren't real happy with Lyndon Johnson.
No.
He at the last moment had anyway. It's not
him.
After Hubert
not
Humphrey.
That guy.
Alabama, meanwhile, they stand at 8-4. That's tied for third with 3 other teams, Vanderbilt and Tennessee. They're 8-4. They're ranked number 25. They got a top 5 strength of schedule and a really good net ranking, which I'm not looking at right now, but they're 18-7 overall. Crimson Tide down the stretch. And again, I'll say the same thing about Alabama that I just said about Florida. It seems as though every game they play, to me, in the last 4 or so, they look a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. They got, one of the most experienced practice players in the country, helping them along in Charles Bediako. I think they don't miss him. I think that Bediako thing was a complete waste of time. They got Arkansas at home tonight. That's just huge. Calipari can coach, by the way.
Yeah, he can.
At LSU, LSU's average, below average.
Yeah.
Mississippi State at home, at Tennessee, at Georgia, and at home against Auburn. I honestly can see a 5-1 finish in the league for Alabama.
Can you really? Wow.
I don't think they'll win at Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think Tennessee's already beat them this year. Yeah, 79-73 in Knoxville earlier this year.
Yeah, back in January.
Barry, if I'm not mistaken, Nate Oates has had some trouble against the Vols. That can cost a football coach. If you don't beat Tennessee on a regular basis, it can cost you. I think Nate's lost, last 4 or 5 against Tennessee?
He hasn't been successful. But
yeah,
if they finish 5-1 in the league, obviously they're in the NCAA tournament.
Maybe
I think unless they absolutely fall apart, they're in the tournament.
Yeah, well, I think they're in the tournament. I think schedule strength is certainly a big plus.
It's huge.
Unless they completely fall apart, it would be nice to see this team really get hot in the first half instead of just getting it all taking care of business in the last 20 minutes of the game, which has been the case over the last 2 or 3. We've kind of stumbled around and then lit fire in the second half. But hey, whatever it takes to win, nobody's complaining. But more on that game a little bit later on after we talk about a game that was played last night, maybe a little bit later.
It's a bit of a transition for Nate Oates this year, without, some of the players they've had over the years. You lose a Mark Sears, you lose a Grant Nelson, you lose people like that. You lose a lot of your assistant coaches. I mean, there are 2 coaches, that one of them is coaching South Florida, Brian Hodgson, who John once saw at a
Kenny Chesney
concert. In Charlotte.
Right in front of me.
Charlie Henry's the coach at Georgia Southern. Brian Hodgson, the coach at South Florida, who is leading the American Conference now. So he's lost coaches, he's lost players. But it doesn't seem to matter. It
doesn't. But Barry, I think we said this earlier. I don't want it to sound like the football team, but they're fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, particularly offensively. But I don't think it's one of the better teams that Nate Oates has put together. They're good. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's had better teams in prior seasons. Maybe they'll maybe they'll catch fire in the tournament. Who knows? But as of right now, they're good. They're fun to watch. I mean, I'm not downgrading them, am I? Does it sound like I am? But I don't.
All he's saying is kind of back. It's like, I've seen better.
Yeah, I've seen
That's
better.
what he said. No, it's all right. I've seen better.
Yeah. Hey, you want to go out with my cousin? I've seen better.
What does she look like?
I've seen better.
So
I think tonight's big. You're coming off some wins. You kind of, feeling good about yourself. You got to keep it going. But as I mentioned, we'll get into that a little bit later. When we return, Barry, something came across my desk yesterday.
And John sitting there with his little press with his fedora on, which says press on here, and he
sure,
what do you got, Harley? Okay, we'll send this guy. This is Longshore. Came across my desk.
We have runners here at Network Control, and one of the runners came in and said, "Hey, you might want to take a look at this."
Thanks,
which
Charlie.
I did, and I thought, ooh. I knew this was coming. I was hoping it didn't come, but it has. And I think a trend has started and the floodgates are about to open. We will address that when we return.
Nice. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and $25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino is located off I-85, exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, The pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information. All right, welcome back in, everybody. 20 minutes past the hour here on this edition of Longshore McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, in association with our good friends at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Tell all your friends and associates. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple Tunes, and yellowhammernews.com. There's so many places to check us out, whether you want to watch, whether you want to listen, whether you want to do both. It's easy to do, and you can do it on your time. We're live 7 to 9, but we're here throughout the day. Just access us wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. You'll find us there. No, I did not change my coffee cup. I kind of rotate. That was a coffee cup I got when I spoke to the Lions Club a couple of years ago. They, give you a coffee cup or a pen or, something like that, and they're really good coffee cups. I like the way the coffees, there's several things that make a good cup of coffee, and a cup is one of them. You got to have the right container, whether it's a cup, mug, or it is a styrofoam from a coffee place. Our man, way offsides, Jeff, brings us coffee from 7 Brew, and their cups are really good. Yes. Do I keep the cups and wash them out? I've been known to do that because I like a cup. It's so important in a good cup of coffee. I'll just say that. All right, so Barry, yesterday something came across my desk, and the headline of the article is that I saw is a little misleading. The headline of the article says, Texas football to cancel 2-game series with Big 12 school. I went, whoa. Well, what is this all about? Not a big boy like Texas. They're not canceling anything.
With a Big 12 school, John could see if it's like, Texas San Antonio or Sam Houston State, but Big 12, come on.
Well, according to a report, Texas is canceling their upcoming series with Arizona State, scheduled for 2032 and 2033. This is according to a Sun Devil source. But as I scroll down, Barry, I also see that Arizona State has also canceled a series with Florida and is expected to cancel one with LSU.
Wait.
Oh, is this Arizona State doing all this canceling or Texas? It seems a little confusing that they just haven't canceled all of their series with the SEC schools that they're scheduled to play in future years.
Come on, Kenny Dillingham. I thought you wanted to Arizona State. I've always thought this. I've been there. I've done games there, baseball games, but that place is all that. I mean, Tempe is beautiful. It's right next to Phoenix. It's never cold. They should have been better than they have been over the years.
Yeah.
They were 8-5 last year. The year before, they made the college football playoff. But you look at it, and the fans are fairly apathetic. I mean, it's a pro town, with Phoenix right there.
Do they still play at Sun Devil Stadium?
Yes.
Yeah.
Their facilities are not good because they're always of the mind that, hey, we're winning enough with what we got. Why do it anymore?
This is what Brian Nagel torch Alabama in a bowl game.
Yeah. This is what they've got.
Yeah.
In their non-conference at Arizona State. I don't know if this is, pre-mass cancellations or post. They have Texas A&M home and away starting this year. They have LSU home and away starting in 2029. Stanford, and Texas.
Yeah.
Texas in 2022 and 2023. That's basically it. 3 Power 5 home and away non-conference schedules. I say 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, Stanford counts, I guess. So 4.
Yeah.
Tom, they're
Stanford's
a school.
playing Arizona State, but they won't play SEC schools, huh? Wow.
They need to do more. They're one of those schools that I don't know what the Big 12 conference looks like. I think they go 9 games in the Big 12.
Isn't Texas Southern going into no? That's the Pac-12, Pac-10, whatever.
Texas State, yeah. But they could. They need to generate more excitement. When they had Cam Scatterbo and they had, they were rolling. They played Texas in that great game in the playoffs. I thought, man, that's really a shot in the arm. Kenny Dillingham has got them kind of enthused.
Mm-hmm.
They need to keep that rolling. They don't need to be canceling.
Well, I'm with you there, Barry. I don't get that. And the headline makes it seem a little like Texas did it. Maybe they did, but Arizona State canceled series with LSU, with Florida. You would assume that they're going to go ahead and cancel the Texas series as well. So I'm kind of putting this on Arizona State more than I am on Texas, but I do think you're going to hear and see more of this. Now, Bill, I know you're just trying to goat me here early in the morning, but Bill,
just waiting.
Some things just don't happen, Bill. Come on.
Waiting for the Alabama Notre Dame cancellation.
Come on. No, Bill. You only get so many chances at Notre Dame. You don't want to say, I don't think we ought to do this. You might not ever get another chance.
Mess it up.
Yeah, so I don't see
when that happens. When that happens, that's one of the flexibilities of our format. We haven't done it yet, but we could have like special editions.
Yeah.
Longshore and McKnight on cancellation Wednesday. I mean, we'd have to have a special 2-hour thing. Let's go live to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where we visit with, I don't know.
That would, I don't want to see that day.
And, well, I don't like it. Oh my God.
If Bama Athletics does not want the wrath of yours truly, they better not do that. They won't hear the end of it. Particularly,
this would.
If another school in the state does continue their agreement with Notre Dame and plays their 2-game series, which I'm still shocked that that's actually going to happen. I got to see it to believe it. I've got to see those Golden Domers running through the tunnel there at Jordan-Hare.
For those people who, again, are maybe new to the program, don't understand the dynamics, I wonder why John says that. Because they're Auburn. That's basically it. We can go through, demographics and history and previous decisions or whatever, but it's all about they're Auburn. They're probably doing it. I mean, it's Auburn. That's the only rationalization that he
I mean, I don't want it to be, come across like that, but there again, just Bill, let's just don't even talk about that. I just don't want that to happen.
When that comes, and I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that thing's going to get played. But if it comes, or when it comes across John's desk, oh my gosh.
Bill says it's going to be a business decision.
He says Auburn's going to play its series, but Alabama will make a business decision to call it off. Yeah, it'll be something. There'll be some rationalization about, that we never could agree on the dates, or there was a certain miscommunication about the money involved or the venues. It won't be because, man, we play a 9-game conference schedule. What do you want? Come on. It's, we don't.
Well, about Arizona State, I think Phil Mickelson went to Arizona State. It's always been ranked as a party school. These publications will come out with, top 10 party schools, Arizona State. But I also understand that their female enrollment is quite attractive. I've heard that. That might be a nice way to put it. They have a lot of pretty females that go to school at Arizona State that like to wear shorts and tank tops. Overmatched tank tops, I believe.
I'll never forget one of there was an Auburn athletics staffer who was a coach many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And he told me one time in a fit of great emotion, he said, there are more good-looking women on one block in Auburn, Alabama than there are in the entire state of New Hampshire. You could probably say that about Arizona State. My niece, my brother Mike's daughter, she goes to school in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
She's beautiful. And, that's and they're from California, of course. I mean, they attract people from other states. Arizona's a pretty big state, too. So, yeah. But Arizona State canceling a series with Texas has not been confirmed. No. It's still on the future schedules list.
And it looks the headline makes you think that Texas canceled this series. Maybe they did. But if Arizona State's already canceled schedules with LSU and Florida, it just, makes pretty good sense that let's just get rid of Texas while we're at it as well. We don't want to play any school in the SEC. Now, Alabama Bears scheduled to play Arizona. Okay, if they get rid of that one, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
But don't do them wrong. Don't take Notre Dame away from it. It's Longshore and McKnight. Coming up in a moment, CJ Duncan will visit with us, always one of our favorite segments. Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday. And as we do, our man CJ Duncan of Yellowhammer News joins us midweek. CJ, hope everything's going well for you. How are you today?
Good morning. How you guys doing? All is well.
We're doing good. Always good to hear from you. Always good to visit with you. This is my Port St. Joe hat. It's not St. James. I'm not getting into the St. James Trinity MA, all that stuff. CJ broke a lot of their other high school's hearts in his days playing high school ball in Montgomery. Just want to clear that up because I had somebody say, oh, man, when CJ sees that, you better make sure he knows it's Port St. Joe, Florida. So.
You know what? The purple threw me off. If it wasn't for the purple, I would have thought that was an old school logo. But, I figured it was something different than St. James.
Let me ask this because, again, people enjoy our segment. It's my mom's favorite segment of the week. I've told you that before. But people enjoy this segment because of obviously your experience in athletics, but also how well you present things. We are reading this morning, and somebody just texted it to me. Northern Illinois, they've been pretty good. They've got a really, really energetic coach named Thomas Hammock. Northern Illinois is leaving the MAC, and they're joining. Who is it? Is it the new Pac-12 or something like that? Thomas Hammock this morning. He spent several years as a coach with the Baltimore Ravens, but he is leaving as the head coach of Northern Illinois to become an assistant coach with the Seattle Seahawks. We're seeing that happen a lot, CJ. I mean, this guy is a sitting head coach of a Division 1A football program, and he is leaving to become an assistant in the NFL. Part of the reason why is because the lifestyle is better. Do you get that?
100%. The work-life balance, and especially if you have a family, there seems to be a pretty big discrepancy between NFL and college now. College it's 365 24/7 now, when it comes to recruiting and when it comes to the portal, and now you're having to manage a budget when it comes to NIL. You're having to do a lot more than just coach a football team. And I remember back in the day when we were playing, once May came around, the coaches went on vacation. We didn't see them, for a little while, and then even then in the summer, maybe they come to a workout or two, or they'll host us for film or dinner or whatever it may be, but they couldn't technically be on the field with us with a ball on the field. And I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think you're practicing, recruiting, you're doing something all year round. And now, in the NFL, you leave that to the general manager. Whoever runs out on the field, you find a way to coach them. So I definitely think that the work-life balance is probably a little bit more attractive to those who have families, or probably just a little bit worn out with the new college system.
And it certainly seemed to be the other way. And maybe we didn't understand it because we always thought coaches were out on a recruiting trail at visits and schools, at homes, this type of stuff. But you hear these stories about the NFL coaches, and they're not having to do some of the stuff that the college coaches are doing, but they were putting in 18-hour days and breaking down film and, mini camps, whatever it may be, that, the NFL lifestyle is pretty hard too. But for college guys to want to go to the NFL, man, that sends a strong message to me that just how different college coaching has become in the last 5 years.
Sure. Well, in the coaching profession in general, whether you're a high-level high school coach, college, or NFL, it's a very difficult job. There's a lot of time that has to get put in. There's a lot of, film study and caffeine that has to be that hits your system each and every day. So no matter what level you're at, in order to be successful, in order to be the most prepared, and to have your kids the most prepared, it's going to take a lot of time. But I guess the difference really between NFL and college would be the travel part of it. Yes, you're spending a lot of time at the facilities as an NFL coach, but you're only at the facilities or at your house. Facilities are at your house. You can find some type of routine there. But if an 18-year-old kid decides he wants to flip schools in the middle of the night, as a college coach, you got to go get on the road and try to convince him not to do that. Sit in his living room, and NFL guys are just not doing that.
Now, I don't want Yellowhammer News to, start taking the headline and running with it here. But, CJ, you've had experience in participating in college athletics. You've been successful outside of college athletics. Could you ever, if somebody came to you and said, CJ, we'd love to see you as our athletic director.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you would, I don't want Yellowhammer News to say CJ Duncan says he's open to Division I AD jobs or anything like that. But is that something, that lifestyle, those responsibilities, which to John's point have changed a lot over the last 5 years? Is that something that would ever really appeal to a former student athlete with business and public relations skills, who's got some degree of ambition? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's super fair. I don't see why not. Especially if you've got a passion for the sport, and even at university. I think usually when people make that jump, there's some type of connection to that university. You have a a soft spot for them. And then, you know, as you climb the ladder, you may jump from school to school, as most ADs do. But yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't be something to at least consider. If you have a passion for, you know, sports, for the kids, their well-being, how they develop as men and women in college, which is what college is really for, is the development, right? Whether you play sports at the next level or not, which most college students don't. You have to make sure that they actually got something out of that university, and you promised their parents that as well. You know, when they came on those recruiting visits, that was something that you said that you felt obligated to give everyone involved. And so, at the bare minimum, they should leave there as a better person and hopefully with a job.
You know, what's interesting to me about athletic directors is how the position has changed over the years. You know, 40 years ago, Coach Bryant, Coach Dye, they just went into the athletic director's role. It was just a former coach running the athletic department. But now it's like a Fortune 500 company. You got to get a guy in there that is business savvy, has business experience, because it's running a business more than it is just some coach telling, you know, the golf coach to, you know, quit buying so many golf balls. We don't have it in the budget.
Absolutely, and fundraising too, John. I mean, at this point, you're on the road talking to donors and alumni probably more than you're doing all the other stuff. I'm sure it's hard to even get work done in your office because you're having to be very proactive as to how we can continue to be competitive each and every year. And nowadays, money seems to be the only way to do that, based on how the NIL is going. So I completely agree. I mean, you have to be pretty business savvy. You have to be very personable, and you got to be able to fundraise. You got to be able to campaign and speak to what what you're doing currently, and what you believe the future can be for that university. You got to be a salesman, and if you can't do those kind of things, then I think it'd be very hard to do that job now.
Plus, like for Thomas Hammock, who was at Northern Illinois, now he's about to be an assistant in the NFL with the Ravens. I mean, I'm sorry, with the Seahawks. He was with the Ravens. You know that Sam Darnold's going to be your quarterback for the next couple of years. For 3, 4, 5 years, however long the contract is, you can count on Kenneth Walker to be your running back. That's another aspect of it. You got to re-recruit kids all the time. There are kids right now on Vanderbilt's team who have been hearing on Auburn's team, on Alabama's team, on Troy's team that have been hearing from agents in their DMs on X or on Instagram. Hey, man, I can get you this. You've got to re-recruit your kids every year in college, and that takes up way too much time as well.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, and we've talked about it before. Vanderbilt, we had a great season, and as soon as our season's over, I hear teams are trying to poach our best guys. And we're losing our quarterback. So we'll see what next year looks like, and hopefully we're doing all the right things this offseason to kind of make some guys happy and they stick around for us. But that part of it is what I just don't like. And we've talked about the scheduling of when the portal opens and doesn't open. I remember back in the day, we used to have blackout periods where you can't talk to players. No more talking to high school folks. And, we used to have legit blackout periods. Now, even if they do still have them, I don't think anybody abides by the rules. It's like, if you don't tell, I won't tell kind of thing. And it's gotten out of hand. And so it makes it impossible for a head coach to be a head coach. You're doing a lot of other things. And that's why you see most schools now, they've hired general managers. Like, we had a general manager. I don't know that we called him a general manager, but we had that guy who was kind of the body man for the head coach or whatever it may be. But those responsibilities have increased significantly, and player relations and things like those guys are getting put to work now. Oftentimes we used to wonder what exactly did they do for us, but now we're like, okay, I can see where they would be beneficial to a program now, based on what we're seeing. So yes, it's tough.
CJ, we were talking earlier today about non-conference scheduling in college football. Who was the toughest team that you faced in the non-conference game when you were at Vanderbilt?
let's see. Non-conference game at Vanderbilt. First thing that comes to my mind is NC State in, was that 2017 or 2016? 2016, I believe. That's
Okay.
what they had. Their entire defensive line went like top 2 or 3 rounds of the draft. Bradley Chubb was on that team. That was a very impressive year for NC State. That's the first name that comes to mind, NC State. But I mean, I'd be happy if someone fact checked me on that.
Because I'm pretty good about non-conference games, but I don't remember that series.
Well, you know what? It wasn't a series. We actually played them in a bowl game.
Okay, all right, okay.
We during the season, we always played like, we didn't have a very tough out of conference schedule, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
We play like the Middle Tennessee states. We play like Temple. We play, what other teams would probably call kind of a, cream puff schedule or whatever. But we needed a couple games to get geared up before the SEC schedule. We used to play South Carolina or Ole Miss first game of the season,
Right.
but then we kind of mixed that up after a while.
Well,
but
the series is 3 games long. Vanderbilt leads North Carolina State 2-1. The last meeting was the day after Christmas in 2016 in Shreveport.
That's right.
Wow.
That's
it was a beating.
Yeah, the Weed Whacker Bowl. Awesome.
Yeah, North Carolina State won at 41-17 in the Independence Bowl. That is their only win in the whole series. There you go.
We also used to play Wake Forest back in the day, and after my freshman year we stopped playing them, but it was very competitive there for a while. Very similar schools and ACC versus SEC. Matter of fact, they had a corner that year that went first or second round, and he had to match up against Jordan Matthews my freshman year in 2013. And when I say those two put on a show, I mean, he played incredible at corner, but Jordan Matthews played even better at receiver. And Jordan kind of caught the winning first, third down conversion to set up a field goal to win the game against Wake Forest at home that year. That was a pretty special game to watch. Two kind of juggernaut athletes that were set up to, be, first couple round picks in the NFL draft.
Very nice.
When you were at Vanderbilt, who is the toughest player you ever faced?
Ooh, toughest player. I'll give you 2 answers.
All right.
3. I'll give you 3. I don't want to leave anybody out. Okay, so Roquan Smith at Georgia was tough as nails. I mean, you couldn't move him. He was as fast as your receivers and running backs. He was just he was a different guy. He was clearly steps ahead than everyone else on that SEC field. Todd Gurley was probably the most impressive person I've seen on a football field in person. Of course you've got your GOATs and stuff, but I haven't seen them in person. I've seen Todd Gurley. He was probably the best player I've seen in person. And then I would probably say Mike Evans out, and I have to give a receiver. Gosh. I have to give a receiver some love here. Mike Evans, when we played them in College Station, we gave him everything we had. I mean, double coverage, cloud coverage, you name it. And he would catch a ball on the sideline, and he would look at James Franklin, and he'd just be yapping at him. I mean, he just giving it to him, and I'm like, I've never seen a guy do that. To the head coach, he's just giving it to him. But we couldn't stop him. He was all of 6'5", and he was running a 4.4, and he was just physical. He was bringing the contact to our DBs. And that day I said, man, we don't have anything like this on our roster. This is different. So those 3 guys really stood out during my playing career. Of course, there's other folks who were very impressive. Debo Samuels, I believe, was at South Carolina when I was there early on. He was really, really impressive. Oh,
Yeah.
AJ Brown at Ole Miss was very, very impressive. The Kimdichie, the youngest Kimdichie brother, when he was young, he was a force to be, reckoned with. But he kind of phased off there after a while. But he was really good his early days. So
This is all great
Man,
stuff.
that is so good.
CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. I'm looking. We're not going to see anything yet. Hadn't seen anything yet. CJ Duncan announces candidacy for D1 AD jobs. But it is interesting. We love getting your perspective on stuff like that. It's very valuable, CJ.
And I want to give, I don't usually give these folks credit, but I'll give Derek Barnett credit from University of Tennessee, defensive end, all-time leading sack artist at Tennessee. He beat Reggie White's record, has become a friend of mine, and so I want to give him a little credit.
Yeah.
He's one of the best players in SEC history. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I heard his name called a whole lot. For Tennessee, for sure. CJ, always really appreciated, always fun. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Talk to you next week. Yep, great stuff. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us here today. What a great segment, always is. Man, just some of those players that he mentioned. Seen them play on Sundays a lot as well.
When you think about it, people are consumed with football. Especially the Kirby Smarts, the workaholic coaches, which everybody pretty much has to be at that level. But if you want a home life, if you want, to spend time with your kids, I'll never forget a quote from Bobby Bowden back when he really had it rolling at Florida State. He says, you ever want to test college football assistant coaches, ask them when their kids' birthdays are. If you want to have a balance in life, being a college football coach is not the best way to gain it. There's a lot of coaches who really handle it well, or as well as you can. But in terms of lifestyle, it is a whole lot easier to be an NFL coach and have a family life, a private life, than it is to be a college coach these days, because you're re-recruiting everybody every day. You're besides above and beyond being a coach itself, you're having to re-recruit guys a lot, and you're having to spend a lot of time fundraising.
And if you're John Summerall, you're having to tell some of your players, shut up, bro. Come on. Get out there. You're a pro. You're getting paid just like me. So go out there and work. Let's go.
I love Summerall. He did say this. Somebody was asking him this in a deal, in a interview setting about motivation. He says, sometimes you guys don't want to do this or don't want to do that, and you're like, shut up, bro. You're getting paid. Shut up and do it. Where, like in Mad Men, when Don Draper, his executive, or his one of his underlings says, I don't think you ever really appreciate me for all the ideas you give me. He said, that's what the money's for. That's why we pay you.
Yeah.
So you can give me ideas and stuff like that. Well, Coach, I don't think you're encouraging enough. I need nurturing. I need I need somebody to build me up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the money's for.
We're not babysitting
Earn
here,
your
folks.
money.
Yeah. Come to work.
Summerall's one of my favorites.
Hey, here's a pro tip from Range Pro. He likes Mississippi State at home tonight, catching 4.5, hosting Auburn. Wow, Range Pro with a pro tip today. Okay.
Now, you can just tell from the verbiage that he's not necessarily an Auburn fan. Take State against the Aubs.
What tips you off there?
The Aubs reference.
Aubs.
So,
well, just think, Barry, if it hadn't have been for that night on ESPN some 30 years ago when they put the scores in the top left-hand corner and it said, like, I don't know, FSU Aubs.
Yeah.
And I went, Yeah, I like that. Albs.
Yes.
And a label was born.
I'll never forget. This was 2 years ago. There was a photo online that put out by Auburn on social media, on Twitter, of Auburn football coach Hugh Freeze wearing a pullover sweater kind of a thing. It was navy blue, and in the middle it had a circle in orange, and in the circle it said AUB. In like the monogram font in there, it said Aub right in the middle of it. And I took it and I sent it to John, and I said, he's actually acknowledging it. I mean, he's actually wearing a sweater that says Aub on it. John's like, I'm having an effect.
Yeah.
It's like water on a rock. I'm finally wearing it down. Where they're embracing the term Aub over at all.
What did Red say in Shawshank? Time and pressure. You have enough time and pressure. Yes.
So let's take a break.
Glad to see that. Top of the hour, Barry. Our starting five. What program are we highlighting today? It is the Kentucky Wildcats. We're going to see. No, we're not talking about the basketball team. Their first 5 football games have a new head coach in Lexington, and we'll talk about that as well at the top of the hour. And I see there seems to be a bit of an argument going on the River Region Straw chat line about Alabama's record and top 5 talent and getting blowed out. I love that.
This is blown out. Yeah, that's a Jeffism. This is what I love about Bob from Pike Road. He loves ball. He loves the show.
Yeah.
He opens up with a little Auburn thing. I don't want to read that one. That's not the one. He gets involved with Way Offsides Jeff, which I like. This is what Bob will do. He'll say something like that, and somebody will respond, and this is where Bob gets. I mean, you don't know what in the heck you're talking about. I love that part about Bob. Yeah, I'll make my point. I'll say this and all that. And if you disagree with me, you're an idiot. That can be a little bit inflammatory. He gets them riled up. We certainly appreciate
Bob's
that.
way of thinking. Love it. Keep them coming, Bob. Keep them coming, Jeff. Everybody keep them coming on the River Region Straw chat line here today. I mentioned River Region Straw delivered some wood to me yesterday. We're going to try to get a photo up of that great-looking wood that was delivered yesterday. There it is. Check that out, Barry. Check out how they stacked it up, left a sign there for me. River Region Straw, 669-5959. By next fall, when it starts getting cool again, man, that wood is going to be good to burn. I cannot wait.
Nice.
Good stuff from Kenny and his staff at River Region Straw, 669-5959.
Just took a call. That's all it is. One call.
Yeah.
John was thinking, okay, man, if you have it here by Friday, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
It was here next morning.
Showed up yesterday.
Yeah.
How about that?
Love it. Yep. 669-5959. Kenny and the staff at River Region Straw. Coming up in just a moment. Oh, let's see. We got the Phantoms Daily Dog, maybe a little Josh Harris, Princeton, Preston.
Get ready. Get ready, Theotis.
And our starting five. All that's still to come with Longshore and McKnight. Association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Okay, top of the hour here on a Wednesday. So glad you are with us here today. CJ Duncan joined us in hour number 1. Josh Harris will join us at the bottom of this hour. Some basketball tonight. Both Auburn and Alabama are in action. The Tide and the Razorbacks, 6 o'clock tonight from Coleman Coliseum. The Tigers and the Bulldogs from the Hump in Starkville at 8 o'clock tonight. Several other SEC games as well. There were a trio of SEC games last night.
The Troy Trojans are in action tonight. I'm in Monroe, Louisiana for Troy and ULM. ULM's very bad. I think they're 4-23. I know they're 1-13 in the Sun Belt. Troy's got 4 games left in their regular season, 2 of them against ULM. 6:30 tonight for that one from here in Monroe. And we are, as always, just taking everything into account in the world of sports. And, you know, sometimes we get off on other stuff. John was teaching me about the White House the other day. He had a field trip for that. It was really pretty cool. And we're doing a little thing we like to call the starting 5.
The starting 5, yes. And it's the first 5 games of each SEC football programs start in 2026. Yeah. Who are the first 5 games going to be against? And we started in alphabetical order with Alabama last week, and we've worked our way up. And we are now on the Kentucky Wildcats, who have a new coach.
Yes. And a new roster.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody out there, it's time for some brutal self-appraisal here. How many of you out there immediately on the chat line can name one player on the Kentucky team?
Yeah.
And this is another thing I love about Bob from Pike Road.
Okay.
You know, you're dumb as can be. You know, you're dumb as heck. Whenever you're wrong. I love Bob's known facts. This ain't even debatable. You know, what I'm saying is the absolute by gosh truth. And if you disagree with me, you're dumb as heck. Bob from Pike Road says, in 2024, when DeBoer took the job, Bama had the best talent in college football. This isn't debatable. It's a known fact. That's what I love about Bob.
Well, you know, I will say this.
You can quantify immediately, like this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, so much better than everybody else. You can't quantify that. You can't measure that. But it's my gosh known fact.
Well,
you know, not even debatable.
I'm going to disagree with Bob because I do recall when Kalen DeBoer showed up, there was a mass exodus of players, including players like Caleb Downs and Julian Sayin, who were playing for Ohio State this year.
Yes.
So I'm not. I don't know if I'm buying that. Now Saban certainly brought in a lot of talent in his 17 years in Tuscaloosa, but I don't get the sense that Caleb DeBoer and Courtney Morgan and this staff have brought in the same type of talent that Saban did. And okay, maybe that's an unfair comparison because it's a different day and age. And you can't stockpile talent like Saban was able to do for so many years. That certainly helped them win the championships that they did.
So, you know, I mean, you may be right. But to say, known fact, absolutely without
now, Barry, is Bob going, well, John Longshore? Look, I'm right to you. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, and if you tell me you're wrong, you're wrong.
Love it, Bob. Keep going.
Yeah. That's what I like. I mean, he is provocative.
Provocative. I like that.
Just this year, Richard Young gone, Jalen Mbakwe gone. Some talent. I mean, though, if you're looking like Bob is citing 3 and 24/7, those guys were right there at the top and all that. So anyway, Bob, don't ever stop. Don't ever.
My problem with, and Barry, I've said this for a long time.
Yeah.
My problem with recruiting services that hype up these players and tell you you've got a top 5 class or the number 1 class in the country, and oh boy, you've won the recruiting national championship. They never go back 2 and 3 years later and go, how many of these players are still on the roster? Is this still a number 1 class? They don't ever do that.
Or how many of these kids that we had as a 5-star have done diddly squat?
Yeah.
You never hear somebody say, I got to tell you, here's a full column from me about how badly I screwed up my appraisal of that player. They'll never say that. And Way Offsides Jeff brings up a good point. Well, Bob, okay, let's just go by the list every year and not even play any games. How does that sound, huh? Let's go. All right, here we are in Tuscaloosa for Alabama versus Notre Dame. Now, at the middle of the field, let's all gather. Kalen DeBoer is showing our officials the on 3 and 24/7 star rankings of our team. Meanwhile, on the other side, here comes Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame, and he's showing them his. And the referee gives the win to Alabama. Alabama wins by 3 and come. Yeah. Is that what we're talking about? Anyway, this is what I like. Okay. Kentucky.
I've been saying this for years. Been saying it for years. You can give me all the guys that can run a 4.3 40 and can bench press 300 pounds 25 times and have scored 25 touchdowns in their last 3 seasons of high school football. But you cannot measure heart and character. And when a lot of these kids get on campus, they're not the big man anymore. They're 25, 30 other guys just as good or better than they are. And they have a hard time adjusting to it. To me, guys that have good character, a big heart, a great work ethic are the best college athletes, not these prima donnas that show up, think they're the greatest thing to ever put a jock strap on.
Well.
And there you have it.
We turn now to our friends in Lexington, Kentucky. Kentucky is in a new era. The dean of SEC coaches is gone. Mark Stoops.
Liked Mark.
Is probably down at 30A somewhere with his mint julep in his hand. It's now the brain trust of Will Stein, Joe Sloan, and Jay Bateman.
Wow.
The head coach and 2 coordinators at the University of Kentucky. On the staff
Jake
as
Bateman and Horrible Bosses and Ozark.
No, that was Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Okay.
But then again, they also have guys on their staff named Josh Pruitt. No. Courtney Love is the director of player development, not just the former wife of
not
Kurt
related
Cobain.
to Will Love, is he?
No, but Dallas Warmack is on the staff at Alabama.
Yeah.
Those are some names. Now, those are probably the only names you can remember. Here's a couple of names that you'll probably hear from this year. It's my guess anyway. They've got a quarterback transfer from Notre Dame named Kenny Minchie. They had a guy named Cutter Bowley who was the quarterback last year, kind of the emergency quarterback when oh my gosh, Auburn quarterback from
didn't Auburn
Texas
have a
A&M.
transfer from Notre Dame?
Auburn, and help me out here. Used to quarterback Texas A&M, quarterback Texas A&M to the win over Alabama. Later went to Auburn. I can't think of his name. Didn't do anything
wasn't that
there.
good.
Anyway, he got hurt. Well, Cutter Bowley's not there. Kenny Minchie will probably be the starting quarterback, a transfer from Notre Dame.
Okay.
Starting running back will probably be C.J. Baxter, who is a transfer from Texas. They've gotten some good transfers in there, but let's face it. Kentucky last year was 2-6 in the SEC, 5-7 overall, and they decided to not stand in Mark Stoops' way when he wanted to take off. That's the status.
That was tough on old Mark. Well, Barry, I'm going to take a shot here. They're going to open up week 1 hosting Youngstown State. I'm going to take a shot here.
Here we go.
Youngstown State in Ohio?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Good.
Now, I thought you were going to go mascot for Youngstown State.
No clue. None whatsoever.
The Penguins.
What?
Youngstown State University is in Youngstown, Ohio. The state of Ohio is bigger than the state of Louisiana, but they both rival each other in the freaking number of colleges
I was just about to say that.
You got Youngstown State. You've got Miami of Ohio. You've got Bowling Green. You've got in Louisiana. I mean, you can't throw a rock without hitting a Division I playing. You've got
how many? All right, so Ohio is kind of like Louisiana. There's one big boy in the state of Louisiana. That's LSU. There's only one big boy in Ohio as well, and that's Ohio State.
Yeah.
Nobody else in Ohio's, can.
But everybody else is playing. Anyway, we digress. This year, the Youngstown State Penguins roll in to Kroger Field in Lexington to open up the season. And they'll beat Youngstown State. The Penguins are solid, but, they're not world beaters.
Yep.
And then reality will smack them in the face the next 2 weeks, John.
Yeah, hosting Alabama in week 2. Then they go to Texas
A&M.
I don't know what South Alabama is going to have this year. That's their 4th opponent.
Oh, they stink.
They stink. They should win that one. Then at South Carolina, we were talking about Beamer Ball yesterday. He's kind of under the gun. He needs to win. Certainly doesn't need to lose at home hosting Kentucky. So I could see Kentucky at best being 2-3 coming out of their first 5, but it doesn't get much easier after that.
I see them being 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah. This is a big, big year for Shane Beamer. I like him. John likes him. I mean, love his energy, love his passion. He's pulled a pretty good staff. He's got a couple of good transfer players in. But this is a big year. More on them later on. I'm rooting for him. But I think Kentucky goes into South Carolina and wins that game.
Whoa, wow. How about that?
So from 2, that's the swing game in this. They'll beat Youngstown State. They'll beat South Alabama. And they'll lose to Alabama, and they'll lose to Texas A&M. The swing game, South Carolina at best. Kentucky will go 3-2. It would not shock me even a little bit if they open up 2-3 in the Will Stein era before they host LSU. And if you look a little bit more, they don't play Georgia this year.
Don't play Auburn.
They don't play Auburn.
Don't play Texas.
They don't play Texas. This could be, and some of the games, they play at Tennessee. They play at Missouri. They have Louisville, who's going to be good this year at home. This could be one of those cloudy years where, they may go 6-6, John.
Good.
And people think, wow, look at Will Stein. What a great coaching job. But then you see his schedule and think, well, he caught a lot of breaks with the schedule. Are they really that good?
Yeah. And I guess it is a big-time non-conference game. It's similar to Georgia, whose only big non-conference game next year is Georgia Tech. Kentucky plays Louisville out of the league in 2026, which I think is something they've done every year. I don't look for Kentucky to be scheduling anybody worthy out of conference, but I get it. I mean, they're in-state rivals. I guess you got to play them. So that's what's going on with Kentucky. And tomorrow, LSU will be our team that we will go over their starting 5, see what we think about the Bengal Tigers in 2026. They've got a new coach as well.
I've heard about him. There's been some conversation about a coaching change in LSU. We'll try to jog our memories before tomorrow on the program. But Kentucky, their first 5, there are 2 they're not going to win no matter what they do. There are two I think that they will win, but they've got to play decent. I mean, that South Alabama game, please, Kentucky, don't lose to South Alabama.
No,
I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But that swing game is South Carolina. That's what we're doing with the SEC. We're looking at, all right, best case scenario, they can go 5-0, but this is the big game in that stretch. Or, man, best case scenario for them is 1-4. There's no way that they're going to win the. We'll appraise each one of those and see what kind of a start each one of these teams is going to get off to. And maybe make some noise in the middle and the second half of the schedule.
Starting five is very important.
Yes.
Get off to a fast start, get a little momentum. Now, I see on our River Region Straw chat line, I know we were not talking about basketball. It can be confusing using the term the starting five, but we're talking about the starting five football contest. But somebody mentioned the Kentucky basketball program losing at Georgia last night, 86-78. And I believe Kentucky comes to Auburn on Saturday.
It's difficult because, I mean, the Kentucky fans are nuts. They're crazy nuts. They are basically the Alabama of basketball in the SEC. They lose yesterday at home at Rupp to Georgia.
Yeah.
Now, Georgia's good.
Yeah.
But Georgia is traditionally not good. They play in the worst dump-event arena in the SEC. It's a football school. Kentucky ought to be beating them at home. But Kentucky loses by 8. Kentucky was a 6.5-point favorite in that game. Kentucky's 17-9. And they're not real happy with Mark Pope right now.
I can see why.
Bad times.
Yeah. Tough.
Nope.
That's interesting, Barry. I have not been to every SEC basketball arena. We talked a lot about Coleman Coliseum.
Yeah.
You just mentioned Georgia's facility. We've talked about Mississippi State. Who's got the worst?
Oh, it's Georgia. It is Georgia. There are several that are surprisingly amazing. I love South Carolina's arena. I mean, it's a dang palace, but they're tied for last in the league with LSU. Yeah. If I'm going from bottom to top, the worst is Georgia. The second worst is LSU.
Oh, the Maravich Center. Yeah.
It's no good. It's no good.
That's old. It's old too. It's been around a minute.
Yeah. It's right next to the football stadium.
Yeah.
They share parking lots and everything. The third worst is Mississippi State, and then it's Alabama.
Mississippi State, I forgot about LSU,
and then Vanderbilt. It's just Vanderbilt would be okay. I mean, it's not great. It's old too, Memorial Gym, but Vanderbilt's irritating because I mean, you're watching it. Nobody else in the country does it. Why you got the benches on the ends?
Sure. Now, does Florida have a new arena? Do they still have that one with the balloon roof or something?
Oh yeah, it's the Teflon roof. It's whatever they call the O-Dome, the O'Connell Center these days. It's all right. It's distinctive. It's bright. Some of those. That's one of the things. Florida when they play at their gym, which I've always liked the gym. It looks good in there. I mean, the fans are right there. I've done games from in there where it feels like they're on my shoulders. It's bright in there. You know, the roof is light colored and everything.
Yeah.
That's what Alabama needs to do, something like that, because and Neville Arena is bright. But Alabama, the place is dark. It's like a mausoleum in there, you've got dark corners, you've got the fans, whatever, John, 10 yards behind.
Yeah.
The press, it's just
it's like the old LA, was it the LA Forum where the Lakers
the fabulous Forum, Inglewood, California. Yes.
It was dark.
You're looking live.
And of course the court was bright, and same as in Tuscaloosa, the court's bright. It's just behind the court. where the fans sit is a little dark. I'm with you there. That's interesting. I will say, to me, Arkansas, their fans seem to be closer to the floor than any other arena I've seen.
I like Rupp fine. It's huge. Arkansas's is huge. Both of their fans are very passionate about their programs. But Arkansas is nicer. I mean, that place is the bomb. Tennessee is too big. It's got 25,000, and there's too much orange there, too much of that kind of orange. Texas is good. Texas A&M is surprisingly good. It's kind of dark. Missouri, average. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Georgia's terrible. Missouri and Mississippi State are applicable, and I've not been to Oklahoma's, so I can't, Ole Miss's is pretty nice.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's looking at it on TV. It looks a little dated as well, but again, I've never been there. But I find it interesting, Barry, that the constant drumbeat and the constant talk that we used to experience, they've got to get a new basketball arena in Tuscaloosa. This place is a dump. Well, yeah, I guess you could be. And, of course, artist renderings came out. We saw pictures of what they wanted to build in Tuscaloosa. Not happening.
Well, especially not now.
Nope.
You know why it's not happening now? This guy right here.
Yeah.
Did you see that show the other day where John went scorched earth on Alabama's revenue and Alabama's budget and who's spending what and all that? They ain't doing it now. All of the negative publicity that John's diatribe generated, Greg Gurn is saying, they're having the Monday staff meeting and they're saying, hey, Greg, did you see Longshore go crazy on our revenue and everything?
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't see it, but boy, I've had everybody telling me about it. So I guess the new basketball arena, Greg Gurn looks at him over his reading glasses. Okay, no.
So I'd get the lawyers in that room and say, look, what is the fallout, the pushback going to be when I cancel every sport up here that doesn't produce revenue? Just keep the ones that do, and then we'll use that money to build a new basketball arena. What are we going to face there, folks?
You're doing good with some people out there to say, all right, what if we cancel this? Some of those people are like, yeah, okay. And we cancel that. It doesn't make any money. All right. And we'll cancel these two because they're leeches. Okay, that sounds good. And we'll give it all to basketball. Whoa. No. You had me up until that. We'll give it to basketball for a new arena stuff. We need to get more NIL. We need to get more players for football. That's
where, I'm with you there. That's kind of where I was going because people don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear it. Yeah.
We got to get in the NIL game. People are outspending us, and we got to get the best talent that we can, and we got to have people stop having teams poach. And I go back to Caleb Downs and Julian saying, wow.
Oh, and they ain't the only ones, the Kendrick Laws.
Yeah, that kind of opened up the floodgates, and I think it still stings with some Bama fans. Well, the things weren't stinging last night unless you were on the wrong side of the Daily Dog. Guess we can get to that when we return from our next commercial break, unless people are just at the edge of their seats wanting to know how that played out.
There's Bob from Pike Road. He is sitting there in the alleyway right now. He's grabbing a tire iron. He says, "Come on, everybody!" He's over there with a broken bottle, saying, "Yeah, bring it on. What do you got for me, big boy?"
Yeah,
it's Bob against the world over there on the chat line.
Hey, you stand firm, Bob. You don't let them intimidate you.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry is Central Alabama's best-known jewelry store. Their location at 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree is conveniently located adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they have every jewelry item imaginable because they make it. They really make it. From rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and much, much more. Marguerite's can also repair, clean, and rework any jewelry item that you want to bring back to life. Whether you're on a budget or have no budget at all, Marguerite's has all types of jewelry for everyone. Go by and see them today or call 270-0074.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown." Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Okay, welcome back in. It's about 25 minutes past the hour on this Wednesday. Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, coming your way in about 5 or 6 minutes. Right now, though, it is our Phantom's Daily Dog that we're going to touch on here today. Let's see. Let me go back in my notes and see what we got here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Ohio State was hosting Wisconsin last night. Wisconsin is a top 25 program. At least they were last night.
They were similar records. Wisconsin came in 18-8, Ohio State 17-9. For all intents and purposes, this shaped up to be a pretty doggone good battle between Big Ten heavyweights in Columbus, Ohio. The Phantom was drawn to that just strictly because of that. And then he looked at it a little bit further and says, hang on. Check this line here.
Yeah. Ohio State.
That's daily dog worthy.
Yeah. Ohio State, a home dog. We love a home dog.
Yeah.
And Ohio State was catching 1.5 in their game last night against Wisconsin and got off to a good start, Bear. They were hitting threes on a consistent basis early, had a big halftime lead. And I don't want to say they held on in the second half, but Wisconsin tried their best to scratch and claw their way back. Not enough. And Ohio State wins the game by 17 points, and they're getting 1.5. Anybody on the River Region Straw chat line say, hey, how'd the Phantom do last night? Did I miss it? Don't see it. Where are you today? Oh, okay.
Well, so Ohio State gets a win they badly needed. They're on the outside looking in for the NCAA tournament. They still have some work they've got to do. They need to finish 4-1 in their final 5 to really feel good about it and all that. They got one of the most underrated players. His name is Bruce Thornton. Moms, dads, you are not naming your kids Bruce enough. How many Bruces do you know? There are some great Bruce Wayne, Bruce Pearl, Bruce Springsteen. Bruce is a solid name, and you guys are settling for things like Braden. And you know, Bruce Thornton has 2,000 points. He's about to become the all-time leading scorer in Ohio State history, even more than that kid who Bruce Pearl, another famous Bruce, threw that cookout for to try to get him to come to Knoxville. He ends up going to Ohio State, Aaron Kraft. This guy's better than him.
Hey, don't forget about Earl Bruce. Can also have a last name.
Oh, yeah, former Ohio State head football coach who spelled his first name with 2 E's. It was Earle.
Yeah, I know some Earls with 2 E's. Yeah, I do. But Barry, is there not a character on Family Guy named Bruce that's, let's just say, a little different?
Well, that's what Plainsman Preston points out. Bruce used to have negative connotations. And there was a song from ELO, Don't Bring Me Down. And for some reason, the chorus on there was, Bruce, don't bring me down.
What do you think that's talking about? But I will say that Bruce character on Family Guy
Yeah.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah.
How does Family Guy get away with all that stuff? I mean,
because it's drawn. It's not real
because
people.
it's Hollywood, and you can
pictures.
do stuff like that. Huh?
The
Wow,
Daily Dog pays off yesterday.
Yeah, it does.
Ohio
Daily
State
Dog
big
pays
win
off.
over Wisconsin, 86-69. That does it take away some of the emotional payoff, John, when it's easy? I mean, that one was easy.
No.
Really?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. Sometimes you go, why didn't I bet more? But don't get greedy,
fair
folks. Do not get greedy. I will say this. I don't know who designs these floors that Ohio State and Georgia have, but they don't do much for you. I just don't like the floors, the way they look. They look kind of crappy. All right, so here's my dog today. And I'm glad to know that Josh is in the green room because he might not agree with what I'm about to say.
That makes you glad?
Tonight's Daily Dog, coming off a win last night, Ohio State as an underdog wins the game outright. The Phantom's Daily Dog, the Buckeyes over the Badgers. Tonight, Barry, we're going SEC.
Oh, I thought you were going Lafayette versus Holy Cross.
Nah, not tonight.
Or Furman hosting East Tennessee State. John has a soft spot for Furman because of the FU hat they gave him one time that he wears.
Yes.
Okay, SEC tonight instead.
We're going to go SEC 6 o'clock tonight in Tuscaloosa, Coleman Coliseum. If you haven't noticed, the Crimson Tide has put 4 straight wins together. Matter of fact, they've won 5 of their last 6.
Well, they've got the most experienced practice player in NCAA basketball, helping them get better in reserve.
That's a fact.
Charles Bediako.
Not only has Alabama won their last 4, Barry, they've covered their last 4 as well.
You think the Phantom hasn't noticed that?
Yeah. Now, tonight they've got the Razorbacks of Arkansas coming to town. 20th ranked Arkansas Razorback. 6 o'clock tip, ESPN tonight.
Alabama's number 25 in the AP poll.
They are. And they're laying 4.5 tonight to these Arkansas Razorbacks who've played well. I mean, you mentioned that
Coach Cal can still coach.
Would you say Arkansas's in second place in the SEC?
They are right now. And they're to me, Florida clearly better than everybody else, but Arkansas is just a game and a half back in second, alone in second place. A game ahead of Alabama, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. So this one has, if you're interested in the regular season SEC title, this has connotations in terms of that as well, rather than just do they cover or do they not.
Arkansas has won and covered their last 3 games.
Oh.
They've also won and covered 4 of their last 5. The only game that they lost, this one had to sting. Hosting Kentucky in Fayetteville a couple of weeks ago.
I remember.
So the Hogs are kind of on a little roll themselves, but there's several factors here involved. And Josh will understand what I'm talking about here. It is a 6 o'clock
tip. I can say about me most of the time.
And you mentioned, Barry, you were stressing that the Tide fans need to show up in full force, get rowdy, make Coleman Coliseum a tough place to play.
And I thought it was a little bit disconcerting because Nate Oates yesterday in his press conference, weekly press conference, was beseeching the fans. We need the fans to be out there. We need the students to be out here because this game could go a long way for us in the SEC and in seeding for the NCAA. Does he need to just
here's the problem.
Fans, please show up.
Here's the problem. They got a hot Arkansas team coming into town, catching points. It's a 6 o'clock tip. Do they not realize chapter meetings are at 6 o'clock? Every Greek organization is having a chapter meeting at 6 o'clock tonight. And then once the chapter meeting's over, all the bars on the strip are having like 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s, 50-cent beer, whatever. So they're fighting chapter meetings and bar specials to come to Coleman Coliseum to buy $10 Coke and a $12 hot dog. I don't know. That's a tough sell. I'm pulling for them, but I'm not sure they're going to have the home court advantage that you are striving or suggesting they have tonight. I don't know. Bama might get by this one, Barry, but I don't see them winning by more than 4.5. I'm grabbing the 4.5 and taking Arkansas on the points tonight.
I think an underrated part of this entire equation, John says, man, Wednesday's chapter meetings and then the bars and all that kind of stuff. There are some people out there who say, hey, John, there's also Bible study on Wednesdays. Wednesday church is going on as well. John, which are you going to do? Are you going to go study the book of Titus with your small group, or are you going to go with a large group to cheer on the Tide and shout down everybody who's trying to raise the Hogs or call the Hogs or whatever?
I don't know. So I just think there's some factors working against the Tide tonight. So
put it on the record. Here we go. The Phantoms Daily Dog tonight.
The Hogs on the road catching 4.5 in Tuscaloosa tonight. I'm going to grab the 4.5 and take Arkansas in. When we come back, he's waiting, shaking his head like, no way that's happening. Guy's crazy. We'll see what he thinks when we return. Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician.
I'm doing that myself, and I'm on camera. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest-ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. Here it is, about 23 minutes to the top of the hour. Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, joining us here today. Josh, how you doing?
Doing well. Happy to make it alive back to Atlanta from Minneapolis last week.
Oh, boy.
It was,
yeah.
It's a crazy place.
Yeah. Minnesota's kind of a crucible right now.
Crazy and cold, I would imagine.
Not the place you want to be, but we made it back. We're rocking and rolling.
Reaction from the green room about the Phantoms Daily Dog, Arkansas, Alabama tonight. How do you see it, Josh?
This is when Arkansas peaks every year, is towards the end of the year. So I think it's a valid take. I think the Tide still comes away with a win. I do think, I never even thought about Betty Yako being still on the practice squad and how much that helps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a valid argument. It's tough. I mean, coming down the stretch, there's really not easy games in the SEC. Everybody's vying for their position in the tournament, and those buys are huge in the SEC tournament. So I think I like the Tide, though. I think at home, I think people skip chapter meetings. I don't think that's a big deal. I think.
Yeah, it wasn't like John was there early, all scrubbed up and sitting there. Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to chapter meetings.
Yeah,
John walks downstairs with his pajama bottoms and his fluffy bunny slippers and 4-day growth. I'm like, all right. What do we
I'd
got?
show my face. The guy's in there checking the roll or something, and I'd kind of go here, and then I'd turn back around and walk upstairs. Yeah,
we do have to get loud, though. I mean, it's just we're so hit or miss at home. Our home field advantage is just not being on the road at this point.
Yeah.
And that's where we've got to change. You look, I know this is a story as old as time. We've been going on this for forever, but we've got to fix the setup in Coleman. We've got to do it.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, Josh.
Here we go. Here we go.
That's a great. We have got to fix the setup in Coleman. Josh, nothing irks me more.
Remember, we're off the air in 20 minutes, John. just so you know, this because he could go on until lunch.
Nothing irks me more, and I'll see it tonight. It's the first thing I'll see. My attention will gravitate toward this media area that for some reason they think they need to put it where they could have prime seating. And these media people are sitting there. Half of them aren't paying attention to the game. They're talking to one another. They're on their phones. There's about half of it's empty.
Now,
when is Greg Byrne going to get rid of that? To me, it's such a bad look to see this just space that your eye is always pulled toward because it just doesn't fit. It's not in the right place.
And all the students in the corner. I mean, it's just there's a lot of things we got to fix there. I mean, it's getting better. I mean, it's getting a little bit nicer. It's just there's no reason we shouldn't be louder in that place. And it's really not necessarily the students' fault. It's not that students aren't showing up, because big game students do show up. You got to get there kind of early to get in. It's not like, the big schools like Duke and Kansas, et cetera, where you got to camp out. But student sections usually filled up. It's just the other areas of the stadium, of the arena, just they're not loud. You've got boosters on the court. You've got
You got as a guy who has spent some time doing television for basketball games at Coleman Coliseum, the big issues in our television production meetings for those games, and there were some good games, SEC games and all that, big teams. Number one, it's dark in there. Light. You got the dark corners up there at Coleman Coliseum. If you have a big wide shot, it looks like a mausoleum in there. And the sound up there, it's a big old Quonset hut looking warehouse thing up on the top. The sound dissipates up there. And then, like behind press row or beside press row now with the seats you're talking about, Josh, you got some 85-year-old guy who looks ticked off when somebody goes chasing after a loose ball and comes so close to him. I mean, he's the guy that will call Greg Byrne, can you please have the players not sweat on us when they go after loose balls? Can we do something about that? I mean, it looks like an oil painting with all of the old people down there, and all they ever yell at is, hey, ref, that was what he walked.
He walked, right?
Two teams out there, coach. Come on, ref. Let's go, Blue.
I mean, that you hear the fans yelling more at the refs than you do cheering on the players 90% of the time. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And our student section does get after it. I mean,
no
look
doubt.
at the student section, there's now a leader of the student section every year now. It looks like they've got their, Wimp Sanderson jacket on, going crazy. And the players are great. But the students are doing great. We just have got to, it seems like easy adjustments, but but it also is the only other program at Alabama that makes any money. So you got football.
Another one of my favorite subjects.
Here we go. God,
you
are hitting the hot
Did I ruin it? Did I ruin the show for today now?
No. It's just you're hitting the hot buttons.
Yeah.
It's like somebody said, hey, Josh, if you want to get John's face red, talk about the setup at Coleman and talk about which programs are making money and which programs aren't.
I'm sure you saw last week, Josh, the financial report that was released for Alabama athletics. Did you see how many of them were in the red? But I'm not talking about just slightly in the red. We've got programs up there that are allegedly bringing in $1 million, but they're losing $4 million. How is that a sustainable business model?
The interesting part is that happening across the country? Because if our football team is bringing in that much money, we've got our basketball team in the green as well, then what are other schools doing? I mean, like, how are they staying in business? I mean, where's all this funding coming from? Because if Alabama's got to be one of the higher ones of people that are going to the sporting events. So, what are other schools doing? How is this continuing to be funded? That's what I want to dig into. Is Alabama's got to be up there as far as we're in the green overall because of football. But if you don't have that, or you don't have a good football program, how are any other programs continuing to operate, especially with NIL now, where all the money's now going to the players and not the program? What are we going to do?
Well, that brings up another subject, and that is with the SEC now going to the 9-game model for conference games in the 12-game season, that cuts out one non-conference game on the football schedule. There are several different schools of thought on that. Well, the SEC mandates that you have to have one Power 4 school on your non-conference schedule. The Big Ten doesn't mandate that. Indiana, they win the championship this year. Their regular season non-conference, Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. The SEC does. So John is thinking, man, you gotta load them up with all Power 4s if you can. Get rid of some of these other ones out there. But then again, to your point, Josh, there ain't the same number of people that are falling all over themselves to go watch Mercer and Eastern Illinois as there would be to watch Notre Dame and whoever else. John could name all the non-conference games Alabama's got coming up, but it's tough.
And you're losing if you don't have that non-conference game against Mercer. Well, the other positive thing is you're not having to shell out $1 million to another crappy team. So I guess you'll save a little bit of money there, but no one's going to watch the game. So you're going to lose money on that end. Yeah, the financial side of this gets really interesting. I mean, I
don't know, and I think it's interesting because Way Offsides Jeff brings up a good point. He says that you can't believe that the Big Ten snookered the SEC into where is it? There it is. Into a 9-game conference schedule. I don't mind the 9-game. Look, I want as many good quality games as I can see every year. And if we got 9 conference games, great. But I was said it all along. I'm greedy. I want the quality non-conference game as well. So you got 10 really good games where the Big Ten might have 6 really good games because the bottom part of the Big Ten is pathetic. So all in all, apples to apples, the SEC and Big Ten schedules to me aren't comparable.
No. I mean, it's pretty nuts. I mean, I keep going back to this thought in my head of the ideal world in college football now is you start doing it like soccer does, where you get
relegated,
right? If you don't get relegated, like that's how you need to start doing it off of wins. Like we need to redo all the conferences. Yeah. It needs to be, we start by rankings of this year. Maybe you have the next 3 years, you get to where we need to be. You get to, here's our top 20 teams. Then you go down to 40, and then you have maybe 80 teams in the NCAA. And then it's based on record, and that's how you get to the playoffs. And if you stink, you get relegated down to D2. I mean, I don't know why it's never been talked about.
This is what we're talking. You think the Egg Bowl means something now to the people in Mississippi? Wait until you say, all right here, Fred, if Mississippi State loses this game, they'll find themselves in the Sun Belt next year. Or, man, I'm telling you, I guarantee you those Troy fans are really rooting for Ole Miss because if they beat Mississippi State badly, Mississippi State comes down and maybe Troy gets in the SEC or something. That'll bring some interest to some of those games that may not have that interest there. Oh, man, we cannot get relegated.
That would be unbelievable. Year 2, you've got the Iron Bowl. When Alabama wins, Auburn gets sent to the Sun Belt. Like, it's going to be great.
Yeah, that's pretty. That would be pretty interesting. But back to it, Josh. I do not want to lose the Notre Dame Alabama series, or the Alabama Ohio State, or Auburn Notre Dame, or Auburn and Miami. Those games I want to see as a consumer of college football. I don't give a rat's ass about Mercer, UT Chattanooga, Bible, Wesleyan, or whoever it is. Don't care.
Normally, whenever he gets really worked up, he brings up Abilene Christian for some reason.
Yeah, I don't want to play them. Who wants to see that? Nobody.
If we have got to play Notre Dame, that would be the most. That is the most probably wanted. Like the country would just love that. You've got the whiny babies, and you've got the privileged Alabama fans. So,
I thought
answer.
Okay, all right. I had those switched there for a second. I'm sorry. Now I'm on the proper mindset. Okay.
Think about it. It's exactly. This year would be the perfect year to have Alabama Notre Dame play. It wouldn't be. It would be the most watched, hyped up game of all. And it would be a scary one to play. I'd want to win that game more than the Iron Bowl.
Hello, thank you.
If you are a psychology student watching this, you have seen every level of emotion from John Longshore just in this one segment. Extreme disgust and agitation, irritation to Alabama, Notre Dame. We've seen it all, and it's all generated by Josh Harris, our money line magician.
Barry, that one line right there, you've heard me say that for 30 years, Barry. Look, let me tell you. Bama fan would rather beat Notre Dame than Auburn. And Josh just said it without any prompting. I didn't tell him to say that. No text.
Allegedly. Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah. Well, Josh, as always, we love it. The only downside is we never seem to have enough time. We appreciate you joining us, though. Thanks so much.
You too, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Josh Harris, the money line magician. Wow. Notre Dame. Hey, Barry, I like this. How about this one? Sunbelt Aubs.
Number one, Sunbelt is 2 words.
I could get a lot of mileage out of that.
Yeah. He pulled the rug up from me a couple of times. Number one, saying Notre Dame versus Alabama, the whiny baby fans versus the privileged. I thought you were talking about Alabama. Yeah. And the other one automatically taking, hey, if we have relegation, the Iron Bowl could send the Aubs down to the Sun Belt. And way offside suggests, would 5 straight losing seasons get you relegated?
Hey, good one. Nice.
Auburn may win the Iron Bowl. And Alabama, I don't know which would tick them off more. If Alabama got relegated or if Alabama goes another 5 years, 6 years without winning a national championship.
Oh, yeah, that'd be tough.
So, anyway, when we come back, we got to get on, keep on schedule here with our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years, and heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand, or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off, and Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers. Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Located off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Okay, welcome back in everybody. About 6 minutes or so to the top of the hour. Quick programming note just to go ahead and let you know, and all people freaking out. Ralph Michaels will not be able to join us this Friday. He's got a big golf match. I said, Ralph, I get it, man. Hit him straight. Get
him and Urban Meyer and Saban and I don't know.
Yeah, Ralph, man, make sure you get in your opponent's pockets, man. That's what it's all about. So Ralph will take a break this week. We'll talk to him next week. Right now, though.
All right.
It is the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. At Victoryland, you can be a winner, too. Their BMW 25K giveaway. The more you visit Victoryland, the better your chances of winning. That will be February 27th and 28th.
Lace up next time. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I had missed this one earlier. I was going to bring that up.
You know, when I was checking scores last night, Barry, I saw this score and went, ooh, uh-oh. This doesn't look good for the Tar Heel Nation.
No, not good. I mean, North Carolina, their freshman, Caleb Wilson, who's a good player, said the Tar Heels were going to put a belt on everybody. I don't like Duke. I don't like NC State. I don't like Wake Forest. This year, we're putting belt on everybody. I'm talking a real belt, sparkled and bedazzled. Well, NC State wins 82-58. North Carolina a little shorthanded there, but you better know the NC State fans brought out the belts. We bedazzled our belt too for him. Yeah, largest loss to NC State in 64 years, and I love it. Yeah.
Ooh, tough night.
See, that's another thing. So, for some reason, we've been talking a lot about NC State lately.
Yep.
John's talking about, quality non-conference, Power Fours and everything. You got to have a Power Four in the non-conference. Notre Dame. This is where he comes off as just a little bit short-sighted. What if it's NC State?
No way. Some
See,
people say
that's the thing. It's got to be Notre Dame.
Yep.
It's got to be Ohio State. It's got to be. John's talking about that's what we need. Well, NC State is Power Four. No.
Bama's been there. Matter of fact, Coach Stallings put a butt whooping on NC State because he wouldn't let them have a walkthrough the Friday before the game up there when they played.
Like 20-something years ago.
Yeah,
okay,
so
there's one.
Have you seen Bama play him since? Probably never see him play him again. Boom. You don't treat Gene Stallings that way.
John's talking out of both sides of his mouth here. Yeah, I'd love to have a Power Four, just not these.
That ain't a power them. No.
My bad. Yeah.
My bad. Oh.
Travis Kelce, who again, he's kind of a golfer.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh no, he hit a woman in the head.
Got to be paying.
Look at that little lady in the. He yelled for.
Yeah, well, at least he got that going for him.
That poor lady got hit in the head. Travis is the tall guy right there.
Yeah. Barry, it's kind of like
here comes a lady getting a selfie of the woman got hit in the head.
Sure.
Don't do that. Come on. Hey, here's me. This is me with Travis Kelce and a lady with a head injury.
Yeah, some lady got a concussion.
Stop
Barry, it's kind of like sitting down the first baseline at Riverwalk Stadium. You better be paying attention. Just
don't be sitting there showing pictures on your phone because, a check swing and that ball's on you before you can react if you're not paying attention.
Man, tough.
Yeah.
All right.
My bad.
Who else we got here? 4 more to go. I think we can squeeze them in. What do we got? Ooh, don't tell me it locked up on us. Oh, here we go.
I got it. This is Willie Wonty.
Willie Wonty.
Yes.
Let's see what we got here.
Oh, yeah. He was asked if the Masters, Tiger Woods, he was asked if the Masters is just out of the question this year. And he says, no.
Never.
It's not out of the question. Now, Tiger maybe has 3 or 4 bones that haven't been broken or 3 or 4 joints that haven't been operated on anymore. He's 50 now.
Man.
And, do you want to be the captain of the Ryder Cup? I can do that.
Sure.
Is it out of the question to play in the Masters? No, it's not out of the question. He's just getting old. Aren't we all?
Man, it's not every day you get to be the captain of the Ryder Cup. Go for it, Tiger. I'd do it. And hope to see you at Augusta as well. All right, 3 more to go. Let's see what we got. Blue, yellow, and red. Let's see what we've got.
She's back. Oh, I'm sorry. Stop sign. She's back.
Okay.
Oh, Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. Rousey's the one on the left. She was the biggest bad dude in the world. Gina Carano. She's good. She's a little prettier, which is why they want it at the Intuit Dome where the Clippers play.
Yep.
I
think Ronda Rousey, Barry, was in an episode of Entourage.
Oh, she's been in a couple of things now. She's kind of an actress.
Mm-hmm.
female MMA. They knock the crud out of each other.
Matter of fact, a little tidbit here for you. In season 4 of Lincoln Lawyer, 2 of the actors in this season were in Entourage. See if you can figure out who they are. And it's good. It's a good season 4, too. They will have a season 5, they let us know. All right, 2 more to go. Let's spin what we got. Blue and red. Blue and red are the last 2 colors today. Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama. New additions.
Not to be confused with new edition.
True. That's
Alabama expected to add this guy?
This guy?
NFL scout Stephen Wise, Georgia Tech's director of recruiting Alex Mathis to its front office. Alabama has a front office.
I like that.
Well,
what is the back office, Barry? You don't want
the back office is
the front office or the back office. See, the front office, you got to deal with so many people that are just coming in off the street. In the back office, you got a little bit more privacy, I would imagine.
We are talking about this because we have zero clue who Alex Wise is or Stephen Wise or any of those. So
but there again, Barry, somebody else added to the payroll. Money must be flowing up there. No big deal. Just hire somebody new.
Do they have a director of scouting for Alabama women's soccer?
I doubt it.
Do they have a front office for women's cross country at Alabama? Or do they have like 2 guys and one of them says, hurry on out there, and the other guy says, hurry on back. I mean, are those the responsibilities there? All right, big no-no. Big no-no.
Got to spin to make it official. Big no-no. Big no-no.
IMG Academy down in South Florida.
Yeah.
I know a couple of the people who work in athletics. They accepted a couple of tuitions, a couple of students whose tuition may have come from Mexican drugs. They are student athletes, evidently.
Okay.
And IMG says, yeah, we'll let them in. You got the tuition? Yeah. It doesn't matter what it's from and everything. And because they accepted that tuition, they basically de facto accepted money from a Mexican drug cartel. Well, it ends up costing them $1.7 million. And launder a little bit of money there. Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Let's
cannot do that, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Good day today. We want to thank CJ Duck and Yellowhammer News for joining us. Josh Harris, Moneyline Magician. Our starting 5 today was Kentucky. Tomorrow we'll go through LSU's first 5 football games of 2026.
Yep. We'll talk with Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com, and Rodney Ortider, Insider as well.
Hey, Bart Heist. Don't forget about Bart tomorrow.
Love Bart.
Yeah.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.